Hey, pipe smokers. Southern Piper here. Welcome back to another installment of Monday Musings. Today I am smoking some Esoterica Pembroke. And I'm smoking it in a Peterson Oran, I believe this is an 01 shape. It's like a bent billiard. It's a good smoking pipe. I don't smoke it very often. Y'all probably haven't seen it. I just spill my lighter. And I'm excited. I'm going to let it cool down. But I'm excited to show y'all on the suggestions, and I meant to go back and see who suggested it, and I have forgotten, but you'll know who you are. Turn me on to a product for Zippos. And last week, I believe it was last week, talked about refilling your lighters. And this gentleman said, hey, there's a product at Amazon you can get to help reduce evaporation. And there it is. It's a rubberized cap that fits down into the bottom, and there's a little flip top where you fill. So those came in today. I'm recording this on Sunday. So I'm excited. I want to see how those work. Hopefully minimize the evaporation. I am smoking some smoking. How silly of me to misspeak. I am drinking some John Emerald, which is a single malt whiskey that is, it's distilled in Opelika, Alabama. But it's a damn good drinking whiskey. It is not technically a bourbon because it does not have enough corn in it to be bourbon. So, but it's good. I enjoy it. And my Pembroke is not staying lit very well. I run my mouth too much when I talk to y'all. And I'll show you this new rocks glass I've got. One of my boys gave me that for Christmas, and I just love it. He has good taste. So for today, I want to talk to you about this week. Actually, it was this weekend marks exactly 20 years that I got into my profession. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about that because it doesn't matter what my profession is. The reason I'm talking to you about it is why I got into it. And I'm choosing now because it is the 20th anniversary. So prior to 9/11, I was in the finance business, finance industry. And I didn't dislike it, but I wasn't in love with it. I wasn't happy. And I think I've shared with you before, uh, what I was doing on 9/11, where I was, etc. So I won't bore you with those details. But probably about the first of the year in '02, as we started the surge into Afghanistan, recruitment obviously was ramping up. And I got a cold call from an Air Force recruiter. And I don't, back then, I mean, we may have had caller ID, but it wasn't like today with cell phones and everything. So I really didn't know who was calling. So I answered. And it was Staff Sergeant Cook, Air Force recruiter out of Birmingham. Have you thought about a future in the United States Air Force? And I think I was kind of smug and said, let me stop you right there. No, I'm not. I haven't. I'm not. Even though I was lying, I actually had thought about it. As soon as those towers came down, I started thinking about it, and I think I had talked to a Navy recruiter, and I didn't want to go in the Army, didn't want to go in the Marine Corps. But, so I had thought about it, but I told him, no, not interested. And he said, why are you not interested? And I didn't really have, because since I was lying to the guy, I didn't really have an excuse or a reason. So I think I said something like, I just don't want to get yelled at. And he said, well, I recruit for the healthcare side of, and you're a non-combatant, and the training we put you through, you won't get yelled at. So I was like, okay. Which he didn't, as it turns out, he wasn't entirely truthful. So it took me a while to go through the process. And I don't exactly remember when that was. It may have been like February of '02. I don't remember. I just know it was kind of the beginning of the year. And the field I went into, you had to pass a board to be selected. So I couldn't just join up immediately. So I had to do all this paperwork, and I don't remember what all now, but it wasn't a fast process. And I guess because, I don't know why the process wasn't fast. So, anyway, fast forward, I go through the process. October, the board met. I got selected. And by virtue of, I think, just timing, the next entry date for my career field was January of '03. So I actually signed all the paperwork in December and had to wait a month. So that's how I got into healthcare. And I've had a good career. It's hard to believe I've been doing anything for 20 years. Because I don't feel like I should be that old. But, in the Air Force, I got to travel. I got to move around, live in other places. And then I got off active duty and went to the Reserve Corps, or the Reserve component. It served a good bit of time as a reservist. I was able to get out in the civilian world and chase a career there. And now I've kind of gotten to a point where I like where I am. Don't want to move anymore. I don't really care to advance anymore. Good Lord willing, I'll be successful enough in my current role to maintain it. Yep, 20 years. It's hard to believe. Hard to believe. And I've probably got another 20 to 25 more years. So I guess you could call me a mid-careerist. Is that what that would be? So that's how I got into my career field. And I'm grateful for it. It's been good to me. The Air Force was good to me. Healthcare's been good to me. I feel very blessed. I don't think I would have chosen this path for me, but I kind of followed blindly with faith. And, I think for the most part, I've done what God has in store, had planned for me, I guess. I hope. So anyway, I've been rambling for a while. And I appreciate you hanging out with me while I did ramble. Those of you who stuck it out. I always do appreciate y'all stopping by and sharing a pipe with me and maybe a beverage and some conversation. I'm going to let y'all go, and I will see you again in a few days. But until then, my friends, I bid you happy smoking and blessings to you and your family.